Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. Today we have to talk about Metazoo, and that's normally not something that we do here on this channel. But as a TCG collector, or in fact I have to say Pokemon collector for more than 15 years now, I try to follow the market from close by, and what happened now with Metazoo made me think. If a card game can shut down in a blink of an eye, destroying basically immediately its entire market, then could the exact same thing also happen to, let's say, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh? Of course, immediately when the Metazoo news was announced, you had lots and lots of people saying, you see, TCGs aren't something that you have to put your money in because it can vanish overnight, leaving you with completely nothing behind. And that sounds pretty scary, right? And in fact, those people have right. It's true that if something is mismanaged or mistakes have been made, then yes, something that was created to make a lot of people happy ends up in destroying the luck for those exact same people. Now, does that mean it will happen with other TCGs as well? It could, but it's not like it's just a matter of time before it happens. I saw several people react on other YouTube videos and saying, yeah, well, it's just a matter of time before One Piece, Lorcana, and yes, even Pokemon God Mentions will follow, because there is completely no future left for TCGs. I seriously doubt if that's the case. Well, let me start with saying that I understand that lots of people lost money with Metazoo and also just like the game, so they are very disappointed about what is happening. I get that, and I feel sorry for those people, but also let's not overreact here. As a company owner myself, I know how incredibly hard it can be to not only create a company, but also keep it alive in an ever and very rapid changing world and economy. Also, I have made mistakes in the past that could have perfectly meant the end of my company. Luckily, I was able to change this and get back on track, but the thing is that every business owner is confronted with challenges that, well, sometimes get over their head. And it's my guess the exact same thing happened to the people behind Metazoo. Starting a TCG in a period where everyone is at home, had a not small amount of extra cash to spend, and TCGs were bigger than ever before isn't that hard. Keeping the game alive when things start to go the other way is something completely different. This is also not something that you couldn't see coming. I followed the troubles that Metazoo had for quite a while, and well, as a TCG, the absolute most important thing to do is make sure you can always keep your release schedule on order. And with that, also make sure that people get what they actually paid for. If that's starting to become a problem, it will probably not last long before, well, there will be a pretty bad end result. I mean, it's obvious that we're in a pretty hefty bear market at this moment, and let's be honest, chances are that this will stay like this for at least the entire year and maybe even longer. And as a company that runs a TCG, you have to make sure that, for sure, in these periods, you are able to stand the test of time. That one, at least financially. If I look at the fundamentals that Lorcana has and the way how Ravensburger seems to be picking up things and making sure that there is enough supply of the game available everywhere people are looking for it, then I think that they are back on track after a somewhat difficult start. Also, the introduction of the new competitive circuit in 2024 is giving me lots of hope. It's creating a nice future for itself. As someone who has always liked Disney, I would like nothing more than this TCG to succeed. However, I think, just as other TCGs, it will still face a lot of challenges. But what with One Piece? Well, I love the Netflix series, and honestly, I think the card quality is great, it's a nice game to play, and I can totally see why so many people like this game. But I also think that there is huge risk involved. Every time when there is so much hype, you have to ask yourself the question how long that hype will be able to last. And until now, you saw that lots of people and other parties were involved in One Piece because of the very limited print runs from the first sets. Now, creating scarcity can look interesting, especially for collectors and investors, but scarcity is not always natural. Sometimes it can feel a bit pre-constructed, just to draw, let's say, investors and collectors' interest in a certain TCG. Now, something Bandai did a lot better comparing to Disney and Ravensburger, according to what lots of people are saying, is that they always communicate open about when a print run is closing for a certain set. Well, they indeed did mention a couple of times that the first sets would go out of print. If we have to believe the announcement that has been made on Cardfest in Los Angeles, that was not entirely the truth. And don't get me wrong, the success of any TCG is based on the popularity of the game amongst players. So making sure that everyone that wants to play the game has a chance to do so without having to pay a huge premium on the products is one of the very first things that you have to try to accomplish. But if they indeed reprint, let's say, Romance Dawn and Paramount War, That will mean that all the collectors and the investors that already bought one or more of these booster boxes at a huge premium will get burned. And if the game stays popular for a longer period of time, then yes, probably the prices will eventually pick up again, but it will definitely change the way how certain groups of people, collectors and investors, are looking at One Piece. Also, everyone that's in the TCG world a bit longer than just One Piece knows the reputation of Bandai. They are known for printing sets basically into the ground, and there is no reason at all why things should be different this time. It's clear that Metazoo created a shockwave that went to the entire TCG market, and that's only understandable. Now, I think TCGs are an absolute great thing. They create communities, bring people together, and they let people enjoy a very nice hobby and build a satisfying collection in an often very hard and stressful world. But we have now seen again that not every TCG is able to stand the test of time. Just as with any other collectible or investment, there are risks involved. But even now, with Metazoo quitting, I'm convinced that a lot of people will still enjoy their collection and will still keep on playing the game for quite some time. Also, I have certain items in my collection from which I know they will probably never really be worth anything special, but I just keep them because I like them, or because they remind me about a nice evening I had with friends, or a nice event I've attended to, and so on. But the biggest lesson that every collector has to take from this event is pretty simple. Now, only collect things you like and invest in things you fundamentally believe in. And as an extra lesson, never, and I mean never, put any money into a hobby that you are not willing to lose. Collectibles of any kind are always very high risk assets. You can make a great amount of money from them very quickly, but you can also lose a lot of money in the blink of an eye. Keep this in mind and you will find a lot of joy in your hobby, and you will be able to prevent yourself from getting into financial situations that you would rather prevent. Now, did you find this video interesting and would you love to see more similar content? Then don't forget to like and subscribe, and I would love to see you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.